Welcome, friends. Welcome to our channel, Learning and Development. In this particular channel, we'll be posting learnings related to applied psychology. The various tools, principles, and the techniques of the applied psychology will be discussed, and how you can use them for our self improvement in our various dimensions of the life. So, let us start the today's session, understanding motivations. Before getting into the session, if you are interested in continuous learning and development, you can subscribe to our channel and also press notification bell so that whenever you are uploading a new learning videos, you will get a notifications so that you don't miss this particular series of applied psychology. So let us start the session, understanding motivation. This particular word you have been hearing in our day-to-day life in our society. Generally we come across the word called motivation. And now let us understand what exactly is motivation. First, we'll be discussing about the concept of motivation. Then in this video, I'll be discussing about the four keys to motivation, types of motivation, and at the end, we will be discussing locus of control. So motivation is a goal-oriented characteristics that helps a person achieve his or her objectives. Now, to understand this definitions, this is very important. You need to do some action. Means that whenever the person is motivated, it results in some kind of an action, and that action is towards the motive behind achieving that particular goal. The motive are again driven by our belief system, our attitude, our behavioral aspects. So very basic fundamental principles of psychology are our belief systems, the schemas in which the images of various things are stored in our mind. So all those have a great influence on our motivation. So motivation is also very fundamental a concept of psychology that need to be understand if you want to understand the whole behavioral aspects. It is a goal oriented characteristics, means we are going to achieve something. We look forward in our life to achieve certain things. It could be a small goal or it could be a large goal. You can correlate with your various stages in your life which you are there as a lifespan. We will be also discussing about the lifespan psychology in coming videos. Now here, if you understand this particular motivation, the benefit is you can use it for yourself and for others. Now here I would like to highlight that if you want to motivate others, the first thing you need to understand is how to motivate self. So the whole concept of psychology, revolves around the concept that if you want to understand anybody, if you are not comfortable with somebody's behavior aspects, let it be in your family members, your colleagues, your working culture, you cannot do anything much about it, but you need to have your own perspective. So in that particular dimension, that particular aspect, you try to understand yourself first. Try to learn more about your behavioral aspects, because once you are able to understand the dimensions in your life, then the same dimensions, the similar concept, you will be able to apply to the others to understand them better. Now the keys to the motivation, let us quickly discuss. These are the four keys which we are going to discuss in detail, because without these four keys you will not be able to achieve the concept of motivation. You will not be able to motivate yourself, neither you will be able to motivate others. And when I talk about motivation in this whole video, I am talking about the negative and the positive aspects of motivations, but we'll be focusing on the positive psychology of it. We'll also see what are the different types of motivations. So if in order to have a positive motivation for self and for others, because we discuss positive motivation, because the positive motivation factors are the factors which are responsible from the positive attitude, and they result in a positive action, and then you get a good results and a better results for your self improvement. So the first one, respect, conversation, gratitude, and development are the four keys to the motivation. Respect, it does not cost anything, and at any level is always a two-way street. This means that the first thing you need to understand is you need to respect individual. If you are not respecting anybody, don't expect in return. So when it comes to respect, what exactly we have to do is, if you don't show respect or if you talk down to others, you will lose any respect they might have for you. So in all the dimensions of your life, whether you're a student, you're a working employee, or you're dealing with your family members, or you're dealing with your friends, respect others is a very important key. You should not knowingly hurt anybody's feelings, emotions, and belief systems, because they are the core fundamentals of their personalities. And if you are touching those belief areas, those hidden motives at any level, then it is very difficult for us to understand that what motivates others and what motivates self. So the respect is very, very important key area, because if you don't respect yourself, it is also valid to yourself. All these four keys which I'm discussing, you can apply to yourself as well as to the others. So first, we need to respect ourselves. Once we start respecting ourselves, the same goes to the others also. The second key is conversation. We know that communication is the important in every aspect of life. We do keep on communicating by various means, with self as well as others. I'll be also making a video on self talk, self positive talks and all, which is very, very important in our personality building, our self esteem, and the self concept. They are the very fundamentals concepts of the psychology, and without understanding them, we will not be able to understand others behavior, and hence will not be able to actually have a good and a strong relationship with other people, other fellow human beings. Talk to others, listen to what they have to say, and reply with a relationship building in a mind. This is very, very important. Generally, we have a tendency to jump to the conclusions. We don't listen to others, whether they are arguing, whether they are saying something to you. Let it be any contest, whether they are arrogant with you, let it be any contest. You need to first listen to them, because once you listen to them, you will be actually able to understand, and then based on that, you will be able to give your reply. When you are giving reply to them, make sure that your ultimate goal is not to spoil the relationship, but to build the relationship as far as the possible. Last thing should be in your mind is to build the relationship, and this is very, very important. So talk to others and listen to them. When you are listening to them, please be active listening. Have some kind of a selective listening concept also, wherein you're focusing on some aspects of listening. But ultimately, when you're giving the reply, don't be in hurry worry, don't be in a rash manner, so that it will spoil the relationship. Because when we say that a small deed, a small wrong deed can spoil unnecessarily the whole contest and the whole relationship. So please use your higher brain thinking capacities. Don't get driven by the emotions, which already I have made in a previous video a brief about the behavioral aspects. I will also be taking in future videos about how the thoughts and feelings have to be slightly separate. Though they have a strong influence, as a human being, we need to keep our feelings and thoughts apart. Then only we'll be able to keep the rational decisions on. So second key was conversation. The third is gratitude, being appreciative of others' efforts and acknowledging success to do well. Please make it a habit to help others, identify good qualities in them. There could be bad qualities, you can talk to them, listen to them, but try to identify good qualities and be very genuine, and be thankful for others if they are really helping you. Because once you are taking help and you are showing the gesture of gratitude, then only you will be able to connect with the people at a higher level. And celebrating achievement is also very, very important. So please don't get jealous feeling about others. If others are achieving some things, it is you have to show gratitude towards their achievement, and feel also happy from their achievement. Because if you are not able to share their happiness, it will be very tough for you to actually understand the concept of motivation. The fourth and the important aspect is development. The manner in which you should address the issue should be development. See, any issues we come across from morning to evening, we come across xyz issues with our family members, with our children, with our parents, with our office staff, and a number of issues can come. Now it is our reaction to these particular issues, the way we address should be development. Not that it is should we should not take as a blame manner or something like that. In some of the videos, I'll be also explaining how the resilience power can be increased within you, wherein you stop blaming others and you start improving on every aspect. And each failure or each defeat is an actually opportunity for you to in the development area. So every time you fail, every time you face some difficult situation, you are happy that you have identified one area of your improvement and you keep on working. and that's how the continuous learning and development goes. So your ultimate aim should be development and not to spoil the relationship or any other activities, any other issues. So develop other ideas. If somebody is sharing some view on ideas, so develop other ideas and your own also. So give consideration to their ideas, take their ideas, and if you want to implement your ideas on there, take their idea as a core and slowly start get streaming and start step by step superimposing your ideas so that it is something like a collective idea. Don't force your ideas on anybody directly because they have their own different belief system. They will not be able to understand the way you are thinking because they have been brought up in a different manner. They are in a separate personality. They are a different individual. When we are dealing with our kids also, when we are dealing with the parents also, colleagues also, please understand that like you are a separate individual, the other person is also an individual, and they have their own thought processes, they have their own emotional feelings, they have their own wirings of the brains, and they have their own cognitive development processes. So it is very this is very tough actually. That is not advisable to force some kind of belief systems on others. But yes, you can guide them, you can educate them the benefits of that. Once they get motivated on themselves, then only they will adapt that particular principles or that particular habit. But unless they realize by force, by other means, by punishment, there is a different motivation technique we'll be seeing in the videos, that does not holds good for longer time. The ultimate motivation that holds for a longer duration of time is your self intrinsic motivation that comes with a thought process. So here the idea what I'm trying to figure out is, please give importance to other ideas. Even if you feel that that idea is not good from your perspective, you take up their ideas, they will feel happy, and you start building your ideas on their ideas. Slowly it can happen that their idea totally disappears, and eventually your thought process is there, and then based on that you can take an action. But start with their ideas, to be honest, because your idea is always with you. So develop other ideas and your own also. Identify what needs to be done and worked out. Keep it positive and always focus on the next step. That is very important sentence I have just written. Please understand. Generally, what happens is, suppose some issue we are figuring out. So what happens? We are stick with that particular issue, and we are not able to come out of that. So the best part is that issue is there and it is getting resolved. What is the next step? So forget that and go to the next step. Sometimes it is related, sometimes it is correlated. Anyway, you're not going to do action. So keep your thought process into the next step. Okay, if this is resolved, what is going to happen? Okay, let us assume that this is resolved, and let us work on that particular aspect. So this is a very interesting concept. If you can actually focus on the next step, then some of the things are automatically they get resolved actually. So you can actually apply in your day-to-day working style. You can correlate with the things also. So the four important keys what we have discussed is, quickly let us see: respect, conversation, gratitude, and development. Without practicing these things, you will not be able to motivate yourself, and you will also be not able to motivate others. So that's the reason I wanted to discuss this brief concept of motivation. Now let us get into the other topic: types of motivation. Here the classification of motivation has been done based on approach based, reward based, and the nature based. So I will be talking more on the nature based in this particular video. We are already aware about the approach based in our society, that approach based motivation is nothing but positive and negative. Generally, if somebody does some good, we appreciate that person, and then he gets motivated to do that activity more and more. The negative approach is, if somebody is doing some particular aspect or exhibiting some behavior, we have some kind of a punishments for them so that they don't exhibit that particular behavior. So this is very simple and a superficial concept that can be understood. The other concept which we have seen in the organizations, in our family life also, is a reward incentive based. You give some kind of reward to the people, they get motivated. It could be a financial reward or a non-financial reward also. So these two kind of motivations will not help in a longer duration of your life. Please understand, the two approaches I am not going to discuss. I am going to focus on the approach which is called the nature approach. But you will see that most of the people fall under this category, and we have been experiencing the approach based and the reward based motivation technique. Now in nature based type of motivation also there are two types, intrinsic and extrinsic. Again the extrinsic is nothing but what we have discussed just now, the whole approach based, that is negative and positive, and the whole reward based, that is financial and non-financial things, comes under this extrinsic nature based actually, that is getting influenced by the external factor. So here we have to focus only our all our understanding on intrinsic motivation, and as long as we are able to generate this intrinsic motivation in our personality, then only we will be actually able to motivate ourselves and others also. So let us understand this intrinsic motivation, which is our key area of interest. The other motivations are temporarily, they are not permanent, and they get influenced by the external factors, and if the external factors are changed, you are no longer motivated. So I don't feel that that is a good way of motivating self or ourselves. The very key of motivating should be intrinsic. Now this is what, from this particular figure you can make out what exactly I was trying to say: extrinsic motivation and intrinsic motivation. You can see these two people playing a game of football. Now you can see the other person is working hard to push the ball in the goal to win the match. The thought process going in that particular individual is the trophy. He wants to win that trophy. For that he will get some kind of an appreciation, and people will congratulate him, he will own that particular trophy. So these are the thought processes going on. These are all called extrinsic motivations that are influenced by the financial benefits or the positive appreciation benefits also, to be honest. Now the other person you can see is putting efforts in playing game. The thought process is he is feeling happy for his game, he is feeling satisfied that he gave his best. There is no thought. So basically he is focusing on the effort and enjoying every moment. So what is happening is, this is what exactly is the intrinsic motivation. You as an individual also have to think that in my work culture, what I can do, how I can correlate this intrinsic motivation. uh, you need not be doing for the promotions or the increase in the salaries and all, but if you are really doing your work for self satisfaction and all, that is a different kind of motivations you will be experiencing. Because suppose if you're working hard and you don't get a promotion or you don't get an increment, you don't get an appreciation, what will happen? You will tend to lose that motivation. But if it is intrinsic different, you are the only person who can control it. And when I'm talking about the intrinsic world, I'm talking about the intrinsic motivation factor. I will also discuss important psychological tool which is called locus of control, which is very very important at this particular point for you to understand, so that you will be able to understand what exactly is intrinsic motivation. So to understand this intrinsic motivation, let us understand the psychological concept called locus of control. So this locus of control basically is a belief system that we carry with ourselves, that we are the actually controller of all our happenings in the life. Now you can see, if there are two people, one is having internal locus of control and other is having external locus of control. So a same situation, how they will be reacting. Suppose a student has got a bad grade, situation number one. So the person who is having external locus of control means he is extrinsic motivated, the external factors influence his behavior and all. He will say the test was not good, there was a lot of no way we can do well, the paper was tough, the questions were from out of syllabus. That is what he will give a suggestion. On the other hand, the person who is having internal locus of control, same, he will react to this situation internally. I must not have studied enough, I could have done better, I will do better next time. So the same event, different reactions are there. These two reactions are the reason behind the locus of control. The locus of control is controlling their thought processes. Similar case you can also understand in the good grade also. Suppose a student gets a good grade, so as an internal personality, internal locus of control, what is the thought process? I am so glad I've studied hard. He will be very happy, The on the other hand, the instructor must have graded wrongly. I somehow, got an opportunity. The questions were very easy. I got an opportunity to, see from my friend. I was able to copy the things. So what I'm trying to make here is The internal locus of control is very, very important if you want to be stable in today's turbulent society, today's society wherein a lot of behavioral things we see. There are a lot of situations which are happening and we are getting driven by the situation. So our internal world, if it is getting affected by the external situations, then it is very, very dangerous for us. So what we have to do is this internal locus of control is like a shield wherein we don't get influenced much by the external situations, and we actually stop blaming others. Once you stop blaming others, the whole focus is towards yourself, and you start, when it comes to, you stop the whole concept of blaming. You neither blame yourself, you nor blame others. And that is the stage, if you can reach, you actually focus all our efforts on learning and not blaming. So whole your concentration comes on the learning aspect, and you start focusing on the areas of improvement if anything has happened. So this is a brief concept how to develop this locus of control, how it is influenced by your upbringing process, how you can change it with your cognitive behavior therapy, with your thought processes. I'll be discussing in the future videos. So this is what I wanted to express about the motivation. So let us quickly get recollect what we have studied. We have understood the concept of motivations. There's something belief system which drives us to take action. So action is important in the you are getting motivated. How it will be exhibited? It will be executed in the form of some particular action. And the reasons behind this motivation could be your internal reasons or could be your external reasons. So here in this particular video, I'm trying to figure out that external motivations are what you have seen, and if you are having internal motivated personality, intrinsic motivation, you have your locus of control internal, it will have lot of impact, lot of self satisfaction and self improvement and success in various dimensions in your life. So look forward to develop this locus of control internally. And the other aspect, we have discussed various types of motivations. We have seen the extrinsic part, how that is not uh, permanent, it is a temporary thing. The permanent is your internal world. So please don't spoil your internal world, don't spoil your belief systems. If required, you can do rewiring, you can rethink, you can do some unlearning. If something you have learned which was wrong, now you have realized, you can do some de-learning techniques. These are all called the neuroplasticity. You know, you can actually rewire your whole software, and you can start living happily, looking at the things in a different perspective. So this is the whole purpose of creating these kind of videos and channel is same, so that I can, you know, convey these kind of principles where you can actually correlate with your present situations in whichever dimensions you are in your life, and get maximum benefits out of this. So I'll be making videos related to thoughts and feelings in future. So this is, I hope this particular concept of motivation is clear. If you have any suggestions or any comments, you can write in the comment box. You can also suggest some of the topics which are of your area of interest, where you look forward to understand. I will be making videos on that particular topics also. And with this, I'll conclude this video. Thank you so much. For any queries and suggestion, you can reach to me, or you can write in the comment box. And if you are really interested in learning and development continuously, you can subscribe to our channel, and also you can press the notification bell, so that you will continuously get the notifications of any new videos which we are sharing to you. Thank you so much. Thank you, friends.